And now, Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell Blank. And Tyler, it is the fallout of Valentine's Day. I think I was borderline pancreatic shock this week, just from the sheer volume of sugar. Did you know Fun Dip packets are 21% of your daily value of sugar intake? How you doing today?
Well, first, I had no idea. It's great to see you as always. That's a crazy stat, man. How was your Valentine's Day? It sounds like it was more eventful than mine.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fine. We kind of stayed at home, hung out. I got work done. It feels like I got work done. I sent you a video. That thing stopped working as soon as I got the harness on. I had to take it all apart. Back to square one. It was a very, very frustrating day. I've probably sunk 80 hours into one thing for this show, and it's still not done, and I'm tired. But we did watch the new Anaconda movie. Had I known we were going to do that, I would have prepped you for an At the Movies today for Anaconda, but we'll save that review for next week. And had a nice evening. We had a movie theater experience at the house. We got popcorn. Jess went and picked up popcorn, pizza, a bunch of movie theater candies like cookie dough bites and Sour Patch Kids and stuff like that. It was a really nice evening, ruined by my sour attitude. But I was just so mad. I'm looking at this thing on the floor right now. Like, I know I'm going back to you later, you piece of crap. But other than that, it was great. I got to spend time with the family, and ultimately that was the most important thing. And during the school week, it was fun. My kids made Valentines for each other, and there were a lot of smiles in the classroom, and they were like, "This was just so cute. I haven't done this since I was in 5th grade," and it was just really cool. So it was a very positive week, very positive Valentine's Day.
I love hearing that. Well, I had a positive Valentine's Day, but I had to go through some stuff before we got to Saturday, Brad, and that is why we have the return of Trap Tales. Let's play the music. Brad Winchester, when I've been asked what are my pet peeves, I usually struggle to come up with them. At this point in my life, I just try to be fully tranquilo all the time and really just operate with perspective and grace. That is changing now moving forward. I have realized that belching is a pet peeve of mine, particularly when you are at the gym. I want to rewind for you. This was during the work week, before work hours. So ideally, this is kind of the best of gym goers. These are folks who are employed. They are trying to get their fitness in and then head to their respective jobs, right? One would think. It's not like the heathens who I see on Sunday morning when we should be in a place of worship, but instead we're, at the leg press machine. I would expect nefarious behavior on Sunday mornings, but not a Tuesday before work hours. Alas, I was actually on the leg press machine earlier this week. You'd be proud of me. I've been relatively consistent to start the new year.
Awesome.
And thank you. And I think I was listening to a podcast. I was probably listening to Gimmick Infringement. How about that? And there was kind of a dip in the audio. And so I was more aware of my surroundings. And I hear this guy who's next to me, who I see every so often. I hear him let out this righteous belch, Brad. I'm just doing my thing. I'm focused. I'm locked in. And I hear... And I said, instantly, what the fuck? Who? Let me do it to Mike. What the? Who? I was taught that even when you belch yourself, or even if you sneeze, it's instant for me to say, oh, excuse me, to myself without even needing to be excused. But I have learned that there are other people who do not follow this same method. Mind you, also, I've learned that the key for folks who want to have two machines at one time is they'll just leave their towel on one machine and then go to the other one. That's the trick, which is also still a huge pet peeve. But belching has been added there. Luckily, we survived this toxic behavior. Shout out Kit Wilson and Tekla. We're going to talk WWE and AEW on this episode. This toxic behavior, Brad, it almost threw off my Valentine's week, but we didn't let that happen. We made it through it. I'm happy to be here with you today.
Listen, man, the worst part about it is like you go to a movie theater, you hear a burp, you're like, ugh, at least say something, you know? But they're drinking sodas. And you know whatever caused the gurgle from within is more than likely not drinking water too quickly. You got like protein shakes and pre-workout foaming around in your belly, and then you're gonna have the audacity to just like you're doing some kind of like, I don't know, water mammalian mating call. I just vile.
Toxic. Come on, guys. What are we doing? And this person is of a certain age. It's not even, oh, they're young. They'll figure this out. They'll acquire manners down the line. This was absurd, Brad.
You know they're not going to, and you know I guess the best thing is that they're there for their health. And what I choose to take away from this, Tyler, is you old. Welcome to the club. Things like this are going to make you mad now. You're not going to have a real reason why. You're going to write them off as pet peeves. They're not just pet peeves, my friend. This is maybe the most significant sign of aging, is when stuff that shouldn't matter just pisses you off so irrationally. Like you're like,
it almost threw off my morning. Yeah, it almost threw off my morning. It's funny you say that. I have a confession. Later in the week, this was on the joyous front. I went to the final girls freshman basketball home game.
Is that pic you sent me?
Of the year, exactly. Yeah, that was the real time I sent you. Good memory. And speaking of aging, this is another clear moment. I was there at the game, and then ultimately one of our aides on campus came by. He has a niece who plays on the freshman team, and we were talking and exchanging pleasantries and all that. And then at some point early in the conversation, he asked, so do you have a kid on the team? Do you have a child who plays? I said, no, I'm just here to support. And I could have asked him the same, but I knew his niece is on the team.
Sure.
Brad, I've reached that stage where it is hypothetically possible that I could have a 14 or 15-year-old child. This is terrifying to me.
Yeah, it's surreal. Wait till your career is older than the kids you teach. That's a fun moment when you're like, oh, I'm in year 19. Oh. I'm going to have kids coming through soon, and it's already started, but I haven't had them in my room yet. And that's gross to me. Just
surreal.
vile. Yeah.
It's a different stage for us. It sure is.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, it's also awesome. It's ups and downs. Like cause I get irrationally upset about it, but at least it's good content. I guess I can always make a story out of it. Like we're sitting here. We just had our first Trap Tales in a long time. I was going to go this morning. I didn't, but I thought about going, but I'm glad I wasn't the Sunday workout guy. Cause the last time I did a Sunday workout was, you might remember this, throwback to probably a Trap Tales from 2 years ago, maybe more now, a couple that monopolized the leg press machine for over an hour and a half of just them. Just, what are they doing? What are they working out? They trained to lift the moon or something? I don't understand.
That's crazy and very funny. That's absurd. What is the code of conduct? I meant to research this. When we signed the contract for Lifetime or 24-hour or LA Fitness, whatever our gym of choice is, what's the code of conduct in this? There has to be some language around no belching, no leg pressing for 90 minutes. Like there has to be language in there. If not, we need to get the legal team here at GI and 19 Media to contact 24-hour Fitness Marana, contact LA Fitness Glendale, and make this change reality.
Yeah, and like a good classroom, you need to post it. It needs to be up on signs everywhere it is visible, high traffic areas.
Right.
Walk them through it. There has to be an orientation. Like make them like, yeah.
A discipline system. You get a warning, you get a detention. Yeah, okay.
It should be like, okay, you came in and you got a little stinky because you were working out. Fine. Don't come in that way. Don't start stinky. Like, yeah, that should be part of it too. Like, I don't know, wash your armpits.
We'll work on this. We got a lot of time left in the year.
Use a washcloth. Yeah, I hope so. But we might have a lot of time left in the year, but we don't have time to wait. It's time for the two greatest words in GI.
Steph Watch.
It is time once again. Brad, we finally got the segment. Liv Morgan and Stephanie Bacquer shared the ring on Monday Night Raw. Liv mocked Steph, and Steph said she hopes Liv chooses her so that she can kick her ass at WrestleMania. That's verbatim, actually, from La Primera. I really think this is going to be the move. I want, on the SmackDown end of things, a returning Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. I don't think Naomi obviously is going to be ready in time to make Mania happen. Shout out to her and Jimmy Uso expecting their first child. On the Raw side of things, I'm convinced Liv Morgan is going to be Stephanie Bacquer's challenger, and I think all the momentum still is leaning toward Liv Morgan becoming champ. It's the right move. What are we going to do for the next, say, 2 months or month and a half? That remains to be seen. We've seen Raquel versus Steph. Maybe we get Steph taking out Dominic Mysterio in some segment, but I still yearn for, if this is the end of La Primera's first title run on the main roster, I yearn for this to be something important and treated with care. I think Liv Morgan is leaving Vegas as champ, and I do still believe she's going to pick La Primera to make that happen.
I have nothing to add. I agree with everything you just said there. I will say that I really enjoyed that segment, and the translating back and forth was great. Everything about it was a lot of fun. So that was really enjoyable. And we have a lot to talk about in terms of WWE. So let's start. Hit me with your question.
Yeah, we sure do. AJ Lee returned to Raw to challenge Becky Lynch to a match at Elimination Chamber later this month. Brad, it's worth noting that the PLE will be from Lee's current residence in Chicago, the hometown of her husband, one CM Punk. Here's my question. Do you think she gets the win? And what should WWE do in the coming weeks to recapture that euphoria we felt upon Lee's return last year?
I think she does get the win. And also, I think the way to capture the euphoria is pretty simple. Have her on TV. I don't really have any other notes. Like, have her debut, do two things, and disappear for a month is weird. Maybe that's what they're going for, is like use her sparingly, so when she is there, it is that much more special. But we had the same. I feel like we had this conversation when Saraya debuted in AEW, and we're like, Paige is back. We never thought we'd have Paige again, and she's back, and she had her first promo, and people were like trashing it. I was like, what? It's her first promo in years. For a break, like, pump the brakes a little bit. And then Saraya was used to kind of highlight talent, and she got her title. I can see AJ Lee doing some of those things. I think they need to put her in a match with somebody that needs to be built, or somebody that could use the rub. And as long as that happens, and we can turn that other person either into a despicable heel so that we're all cheering for AJ Lee, or just flip it. And like, we had heel Bella. Like, it's okay to play around with that. Trish Stratus was bad after being a Hall of Famer and returning. Like, flip her. But I think right now we've crossed the lines into the shoot life territory so much. I don't know if you could have a babyface Punk and a heel AJ Lee like at all at the same time. I feel like they're going to pair them and make them be one or the other. I honestly think it would be way more interesting if it was babyface Punk and heel AJ Lee, and then have backstage segments where they have to address it together every once in a while, where it's like, I don't know, I don't really agree with her, but like, I just think that stuff could be great. That's what I think would get people excited. Play with the backstage dynamic of it, make it complicated, make it confusing, and then give it a shades of gray relationship with a black and white heel villain, hero babyface scenario. I think it'd be a lot of fun. But to get the euphoria back, you're never going to get that back. Like, it's never going to happen. Not ever. That pop is over. Edge returned. It didn't happen like that for him every night afterward. It took him going away for a while and coming back. Was it like I don't remember who was talking about. Maybe it was Darby. It said like a way to get people to love you is just disappear for a month and come back. disappearing for a month and then coming back to do a segment backstage. I don't know that that's exactly the right move for something like that. It's one thing that bugs me about WWE is they so often will have a return or a surprise, but it'll just be like they'll come on camera in a backstage segment before actually going out into the arena. I don't know. I feel like it kind of cheapens it a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I think put her in with somebody that you want to see AJ Lee beat really badly, and that would help a lot. And then give her a big win that would recapture that euphoric. Give her a title that would help recapture that. I'm not saying I want this to happen, but if it was AJ Lee to be the one to take the belt off of Jade, I think that would be one that you could make a case for if you could build Jade up to be just, no, I hate this company and I'm doing all this and I can't stand the fans and I'm better than everybody here and all that, and then have AJ Lee be the one. Huge moment for her, right? Like that would bring it back. But right now, I don't know. I guess the other answer is after Mania, when Liv wins, AJ's the one to take it off of Liv.
Yeah, that would be a fun matchup. AJ has so many potentially awesome feuds, and you listed a couple of them right there. Jade Cargill, Liv Morgan. I mean, she's come back. Her return, like you said, as a reminder, leading into that ESPN debut last year, the pop was amazing. It was one of those moments where we weren't sure we were going to get her return. I mean, I think you and I'll just speak for myself, incorrectly predicted that she would return to maybe the past 3 Royal Rumbles leading up to this year, and then finally she appeared, on the road to WrestlePalooza. And she's come back to a completely different WWE in terms of the roster and obviously the time that women get in ring, long overdue. So many potentially fun feuds here. If she does beat Becky Lynch at Elimination Chamber, I wonder if the move is going to be run it back at WrestleMania, maybe in some sort of stipulation match.
Right.
But then after that, I don't want, and we see this sometimes with title feuds across companies, really. I wouldn't want the Becky Lynch rivalry to go past that. I mean, this started all the way back in September. And to your point, B, AJ Lee's been absent. So I agree with you. Number one, we need a consistent schedule for AJ Lee as much as possible. Who knows what they've worked out. I thought maybe we would get her full time when she came back. Obviously, that's not been the case. But if the move is going to be she defeats Becky Lynch, she dethrones her in Chicago, I agree with you. I would expect that to happen. Okay, let's run it back at Mania. But then after that, I would not want that rivalry to continue on into the summer. I believe it would be best for both parties to start new feuds. And what you mentioned leads me to be very excited. My only thought is if she does capture the IC title, the women's IC title, and Liv is champ, okay, probably wouldn't go directly to that Liv feud. Probably obviously not going to a Jade Cargill feud, but there are so many other challengers. Natalia,
oh man,
with her new presentation.
Right, thank God they're doing that.
She's having a blast beating up Maxine Dupree. I could easily see that leading into an AJ Nat program over the summer, which I would be here for. Lots of potential challengers for AJ Lee should she become champ, or even if she doesn't become champ.
Right. You brought up Nat. Man, I want to amend my question now, but we're gonna move into it. Because man, she's been doing that for a while now, and WWE finally got on board with going, yeah, let's do that. She's been doing that since NWA, last year? 2 years ago? I don't even know how long it's been.
Overdue.
Yeah, she did Bloodsport. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so my question. So Cody and LA Knight won their men's qualifiers for the Elimination Chamber. Rhea and Alexa won their women's qualifiers. The Usos retained, and it was certainly something. And Io wants Julia. Okay, I'm excited about that last one. Right now, what are you most excited for so far leading to Elimination Chamber? And give us one surprise before then.
Wow. Leading into Chamber, it's still AJ Lee for me. I'm very excited to see what she can do. She seems like the type of performer who, when she comes back, she's motivated to not just show up and get the pop and go through the motions. But I think we're really going to see some different elements to her game that's going to be added. So AJ Lee, number one, what I'm most excited for. In terms of a surprise, I would I would love to have Trick Williams included in the title picture for Mania. I think that would be awesome. Last week on the podcast, Brad, you spoke of your plans for Drew McIntyre to face Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu at Mania, which I'm here for. That would be tremendous. All the signs point to that being a direction we could go. I would love to turn that into a four-way and add Trick Williams to that match. Not that I expect him to win, but for him to be in a title program right off the bat, given the reaction he's receiving from the crowd, that would make me really happy. Now, granted, he's in this feud with Sami Zayn, and perhaps that's going to be the direction we go. But I would love for Trick Williams to somehow earn a way into the Drew McIntyre title picture heading into Mania. I think in terms of the actual chamber match itself, I believe Cody's going to win that, man. I'm here for your Jacob Fatu agenda, if you will. I just think Cody's going to get the W in Chicago. I really do. I think he's going to earn that number one contendership.
I think so too, and I don't
know if that's surprising, but I would love Jacob Fatu to get the win.
Yeah, I don't want Cody to win, but that's just me. I think he's probably walking away with it too, unless they absolutely go, oh no, actually surprise. It's been 5 years. LA Knight finally.
LA Knight, that would be the direction for a surprise.
Yeah,
I don't know if this is going to be his moment.
I don't think so. At Elimination Chamber doesn't make sense for him to win.
No.
That character doesn't. It also doesn't make sense for Cody to win it either. But it's whatever. Like I don't know. We have matches like that. Okay, let's just say we got Rhea in there. Okay, we got
Let's talk about the women's
Alexa. We got Alexa in there.
Mm-hmm.
If Natty's in there, I'm taking Natty over the field. Like, if you want to go based on gimmick and reality, Natty would kill everybody in there. Like everybody, just based on that gimmick alone. So when I think about like who's going to be in there with Cody, I'm not picking Cody. Like I'm just not. Like if Obafemi's in one of those cages, it's Obafemi. Cody's not winning that. And that's what I don't know if it would be, I don't think it's a surprise, but I'm going to say Obafemi, Cody Rhodes are the last two, and they run back their match that never ended because of the DQ finish. And I think Obafemi would be the one to win.
Oh my gosh. I am salivating at this possibility. The dream still exists for me that Obafemi wins a world title at Mania. Given that he didn't win Rumble, I lost hope in the chances of this happening. But you're speaking my language, Brad. That would be amazing. Truthfully, as I was listening to you, I forgot Obafemi absolutely qualified, and he's in this field. I don't know that. How can Obafemi take a pin already a month or two on the roster? How would that?
Jake Paul brass knuckles.
I don't like any of this.
I feel like that's the way they do it, right? Like he'll no sell the first one, and then Paul will dump him on his dome after he hits him with another one.
It's a strong field on both sides, particularly on the men's side. I would love an Obafemi, easy for me to say, victory. Maybe I don't want to get my heart broken. How about that? Rhea would also be a choice, but this is across wrestling, across WWE, and across AEW. I think we have too many double champions.
Yeah.
As is. I don't know that Rhea's a tag team champion right now. Why would she then go? Speaking of pet peeves, that's a pet peeve of mine in wrestling right now. Rhea brings a star power. I wonder if we get Rhea and Io versus, say, the Bellas at Mania or some sort of multi-women tag match.
You know what I would love? Is Roman won his Rumble and won his spot. I want Roman to go into the Elimination Chamber and take the other spot too. I just want him taking both. Like I think that would be such a good move. Just ruin everybody's opportunity. Go
back to the days of Roman with the red and blue titles circa 2022, bringing it back.
The undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world.
That's a little diabolical.
Universal
That's,
WWE Heavyweight Champion of the world. That's what it is. Yeah.
I think
yeah.
Twitter would melt immediately if that happened.
That's why I want it to happen. I want Twitter to die. Mostly.
Coming for Elon?
Yeah.
Did you see Elon was mentioned in the Epstein files, by the way? What a total farce. What a liar.
What?
I just thought we'd address that on here.
Shocked. I'm shocked. I'm surprised he didn't fund it. Well, it sounds like he did. At least part of it.
What happened here? Epstein files, maybe next week.
Yeah.
That could be a whole 50-minute GI just unpacking that. We've kind of talked about it sparingly, but that's a whole thing that's happening.
Yeah, well, there's
terrible.
There's a lot happened. There's Bondi inquisitions and that I support.
The Pistons.
Oh, that's in my what it would miss. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. I didn't
Yeah.
We're on the same wavelength.
Good for them. Okay, that's right. I said what I said. Okay, Tyler, we'll talk about it later. If we keep going, it'll end up being not later, but someday. And speaking of, it's time for Someday When You Have Kids. Play the music.
And now it's time for
Someday
When You Have Kids.
I can have kids.
I started the episode with fun dip facts. My kids in the classroom picked this up and went, "Did you know that it had 21% of your daily intake of sugar?" I was like, well, it's a packet of flavored sugar with a sugar stick, a compressed sugar stick that you like the idea of fun dip, Tyler. I don't know. There's something about it and candies like that just gross me out now as an adult. Not the sugar. It's not even that. It's the putting it in my mouth, using my mouth water to then liquefy part of the sugar, dipping it into a paper packet full of sugar, and then sticking that sugar to my saliva to then put it back into my mouth is to me akin to going yeah, I could reuse that bath water. I just blech, all of it, just blech. I was watching kids go, yeah, it's just, ugh. It grossed me out so much. And I don't know why, because I'm probably going to go crush one of those fun dips later. I'm not going to lie. Here's the thing. Kids, real gross. Real gross. They just are. They don't think about stuff. They'll just be like, yeah. And then just snot. And I joked a long time ago that if I wrote a book about raising children, it would be called Why Is This Thing Wet? And that's all it would be, because you don't know what fluid's on it. You just don't. It's something they drank. It's something that came out of their mouth, their nose, tears. Who knows? It's really gross. On the flip side of that, you got to get to the fun dip. And Tyler, prepping for Valentine's Day was so much fun. Okay, Freya was so excited. She is currently out. Mom and Freya left to go to Fry's to hang out at the Starbucks at Fry's with two of her friends in their little cafe area. They're having Galentine's today. Freya and her two best friends from school, best girlfriends. Sorry, Dax, from school. And the amount of work she and Jess put into this box, this Labubu Valentine's box, is just amazing. It inspired me to go out and make my own box. Shout out to Ashley Kirk, who was a guest on the pod for our Stranger Things series, who was the first person in my classroom to say, hey, we should do Valentine's. And then everybody was like, yeah, let's do it. We did it because of her. I haven't done it since. Last year I had a mini rebellion when I brought it up. It was weird. They were like, no, why would we want to do that? What's wrong with you people? Why do you hate joy? It doesn't make any sense. So we did Valentine's this year. It went over huge with the kids, huge success. They were all super excited. They were laughing at the puns, like I love you very much. Some of them were strawberries. Some of them were teddy bears. Two different berries going on. And I thought that was really cool. Some of them got really creative with their boxes. Some of them went really elaborate. And most of them I just got the brown paper sandwich bags and some markers and glue. And I said, go nuts with it. Have fun. And they did. And Freya was as excited to see what they did as she was to get her own stuff and go through and look at all the cards and, get a card from my mom and go like, "Ooh, look, money! I have money." Very greedy capitalist reaction. And she's like, "Oh." She was reading the card afterward. It's like, man, okay, perfect example here.
Priceless.
But she just lit up at the idea of being able to make boxes and to share that time. And it was a reminder to me about like what Valentine's Day used to be for us in elementary school, when it was just sort of a time to be kind to each other and tell people in our lives that we love them and share some goofy things and share some candies and not put the pressure of having a romantic relationship that must be successful, like in front of us. And like, that's the only way that happiness can happen on Valentine's Day. And I just thought it was a really cool little moment where I was like, yeah, this used to just be fun for everybody. Not because you and I work in a high school. It's not fun for everybody, and staff included. And actually maybe especially staff, which is why I was like, why fight it? Just lean into it. Just, it's fine. If you make it for little kids, they'll go nuts for it. They love the little kid stuff. And I hope you get to experience the joy I saw in the teens' faces when I just treated them in that day the way I would have with the 8-year-old in my life. And I hope you can see those parallels and see that joy someday when you have kids.
I love that. A Galentine's date at Starbucks. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Go Freya. Freya giving us...
She needs espresso.
She's giving us perspective and a reminder of how to treat these holidays, Brad. Like you said, either sometimes we take it so seriously, or we just have such a like defiant feeling about the day. And you and I being able to see this through the lens of a bunch of 14 through 18-year-olds. There's teddy bears purchased, there's flowers, there's candy. Kids came in throughout the week with different items that they received from their significant other, like baskets and Taylor Swift CDs. I didn't even know they still make CDs. Taylor Swift CDs, and it's a whole thing. It's a seminal day at school.
We are in a weird state of our lives, Tyler, because this is gonna hurt me to say this, but you probably grew up as the old music thing where the cassette tapes. And I know records were around, but they weren't selling new records. When you were growing up, they were selling. They might. You were probably. I was going to say they were phasing out cassette tapes.
They sure were.
And going firmly CDs. We're in a place now where you said, "I didn't know they still made CDs."
I didn't know.
Knowing full well that that they're still making vinyl.
It's true. Vinyl has had a bit of a comeback in the last.
We're in a weird state of affairs.
We are.
Like IQ, our technology is going backwards. Statistically, dumbest generation we've had in a while, and I that one hurts me to say empirically, not me. That's not anecdotally.
Yeah, and I would argue,
pretty smart.
I would argue absolutely IQ, maybe some IQ challenges based on a variety of factors, distractions, and a bunch of other things. I find that the empathy meter is going up. I think generally this generation, kids nowadays. Not my daughter, not my fictitious daughter. I'm just referencing kids in general. Very empathetic by and large, which gives me hope for the future. Maybe we'll figure this thing out after all.
Freya, very much so. And absolutely. On that note, there's a fundamental lack of understanding about IQ tests. They are meant for children. They don't talk about what happens when we're looking at standardized test scores, which I don't frankly care about. I've never cared about. It's part of the reason I was thankful to get out of AP. Just because, like, I don't care about these tests. Like, they don't tell me anything. Ooh, you did good on a test. Cool. Treat a patient. Go have a conversation with somebody. Did you get a 5? Did you get a 4? Nobody cares. Like, can you talk to a person? If somebody is struggling, how do you react? Like, are you kind? Is my measurement for all things. Politics, people, everything. Are you kind? And if you're not, like, I'm good. I'm good forever.
I agree.
Tyler, there's no transition into this. I just racked my brain like real fast. If that pause was the computer buffering, I got nothing. So let's just get into AEW talk. Hit me with your question.
I was waiting for a potential transition there. Sometimes it's just not
Nothing.
needed.
No.
This is one of those instances where you and I knew what our focus for AEW was going to be. It was on the Pod Flow, a huge show that we previewed last week. And now we get to talk about the fallout from it. And that is AEW Grand Slam from Sydney, Australia. Let's go ahead and get right into it. We're going to discuss takeaways here. And I have a list first, and I want to kick it to you for your thoughts, Brad. Number one, is Jon Moxley still the MVP of AEW? I was incredibly impressed with what he did and not even just what he did, but what he's been doing for the past,
since he's been there.
Since 2019. Yeah. He often has opened and closed some of the bigger shows. He's been that person you call on when there's injuries or other situations happening unexpectedly in the company and a talent needs to step up. So Mox, number one, that was my first takeaway. Is he still the MVP of AEW? And obviously I am leaning toward yes. Number two, I'll be quickly about these and I'm going to kick it to you for your thoughts. Will Penelope be squeezed out? This is a Penelope Ford stand account. You're the biggest Penelope Ford fan I know. Glad she's healthy and she's back. With the debut of Australian indie star Lena Cross in AEW, I wonder if this is a trio situation or if super bad Penelope Ford is maybe going to get the boot from Megan Bayne. We shall see. My last few here, intergender wrestling kind of rules. Love the pairing with Tony Storm and Orange Cassidy. Number four, I think I wanted Andrade to win. Love Hangman Page, but I was embracing the zag, the potentially of Andrade El Idolo being the challenger for MJF at Revolution. A little disappointed that did not happen. And then finally, the Kyle Fletcher babyface run is going to be his best work to date. We've seen it live and in person, the reaction he gets. Obviously, him coming back home as the new TNT champ was going to be a movie, if you will. I am convinced that at some point this year, maybe closer to the winter time, long time away, we'll get a Kyle babyface arc, and I think it's going to be tremendous. And also MJF beat Brody King, and that was expected, and we love Brody King, and the Australian crowd understood the assignment.
Kangaroo kick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Love the participation from the Australian crowd, and really happy for Brody King to get the spot. He certainly earned it. But anyway, those are my takeaways, Brad. Grand Slam. This was a pay-per-view-esque card.
Sure was.
How did it land with you?
I thought it was amazing. We got surprises. We got debuts. We got returns of kangaroo kicks. We got all kinds of stuff on this, including an absolute banger of an opening. I mean, good Lord, that opening match. Actually, that first like 2 matches, I was exhausted because I was like, these are just incredible. I thought top to bottom, it was a great card. I really enjoyed the Tekla interview, the back and forth, the Chris Statlander pounding her fist, and then Tekla going like, whatever. I don't care. I'm champ. I thought that was great. Can't say enough. By the way, I let the record show. If we have a record, we have these, I guess. I have no idea what date it was. I said future world champ. Here we are. Great signing overall for Tekla. I knew this day would come. I didn't think it would be this soon, given what she had been doing recently, but like Tekla's champ. And I was right. Okay. Other than that,
was that a Mercedes laugh? Flowers for Tekla paired with the Mercedes laugh.
Get it with more of the. I was trying to go Naomi.
Little Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
You called it though. Tekla.
Like that thing. Yeah.
I think
he goes high.
Tekla and
I was clearing my throat. Really. Yeah.
Tekla and Penelope have been just two of your biggest consistent favorites on the podcast. You've been very clear about this, Brad. This is a big moment for you. Tekla getting the win against Chris. That was a fun way to end Dynamite for sure in that strap match.
Yeah, and I think and what a match that too. Like this, AEW's on fire right now with their TV programming. I can't say enough about how good things have been all year so far. I hope they can continue it in. They do a good job building to moments and then kind of forgetting about it. Like how many times was it a joke that we bring it up every time there's a new women's champ? All right. who's going to be the first challenger to lose? Do you remember who it is?
All the time.
Okay. Yeah, it's every time. So it just it hasn't been in a little while, and actually we haven't seen her at all. Shout out to Nyla. It's good. WWE is guilty of this too, where we just sort of have like this huge moment, and then we kind of like all the wind is gone, all the momentum is gone. It's trying to maintain that momentum, and really in recent history, Cody and the Bloodline is like the only story I can think of that really figured out how to maintain momentum for a very long time. Not to say that the other feuds weren't great. Like that, honestly, I liked the Jericho MJF feud. That lasted forever, but I liked that story culminating with that, that ending. And then the what was it, the Labors of Jericho. Like
That's right.
having to do all of that stuff. I enjoyed all of that. I enjoyed the CM Punk MJF storyline. MJF and Swerve was great. But once that stuff is kind of over, it's like, all right, what's next? And oftentimes it's not over. It's more of that. And that's what sustains it. I'm hoping that after this kind of level of incredible, that by the next week, by Dynamite, we're still on a high and we're still riding that momentum, and we're still like, all right, now what are we going to bring? Because we got big pay-per-views coming up, and are we going to be able to maintain that momentum? I was worried about the summer because it's like the Forbidden Door stuff gets cobbled together. It seems the last year or two where it's like, we know it's going to be good, but like, we don't really care about anything going into it.
No, it has nowhere near the level of that event has nowhere near the level of cachet that it did that first or second year. And we see Forbidden Doors across wrestling now. And credit to WWE, they've done a very prudent job of the TNA integration, and obviously now owning AAA. That Forbidden Door just, I think when we hear that, the name of that event, it just doesn't hit the same way it did. But shout out to your poster. You had the poster of the original Forbidden Door, and I love you for that.
Yeah, and it's awesome. And like, I love what they're doing in there. And actually, in my question, I have to bring up some of the talent from CMLL. But it's one of those things where I think Australia was a great move. Australia, not a big fan of ice.
They understood the assignments.
It was real good. But to
Las
your point
Vegas,
with
Australia, yeah.
Penelope, here's where I could see this happening to me being okay with it, because it seems like they're building towards something here. Yeah, she gets kicked out. And then, like she did on that indie show, she repairs with the Bunny. The Bunny gets re-signed. They reform their tag team. I would love those two back together again, especially now that we have the Iconics. If we have Lena and Bane, like Cross and Bane, are like those are Batman villains. Like there's so much potential there to have like a Hoss group, and just have other tag team contenders now that we have those titles. I would love to see them back together, especially with the signing that happened at a house show, which I'm going to ask about in a second time. But I don't know. What are your thoughts? What do you want to see?
Yeah, I mean, Revolution this is an interesting part or point in AEW's calendar, because we don't have the sort of traditional monthly pay-per-views that we're building to. Although again, Grand Slam Australia was giving pay-per-view, so much so that my dad asked, "Oh, is this on pay-per-view? Did you order it?" I said, "No, Dad, it's on HBO Max. Come on, get with it now." The card very much felt like a pay-per-view. Was on a Saturday as well, so it was given everything it needed to give. But Revolution obviously being right around the corner, then Dynasty, so on and so forth. I am really invested in so much right now in AEW. To your point, great start to the year. The women's tag team division, that's really what I'm thinking about leaving Grand Slam Australia. You mentioned the duo of Cross and Bane, right? And again, hopefully Penelope doesn't get squeezed out. I really hope that's not the case. But then also bringing in the Iconics. They did really well in TNA last year. I remember going to the TNA show last summer in Tempe at the Mullet Arena, ASU's I was going to say ASU's hockey place, ASU's hockey arena, and walking in the hallway and just walking past the Iconics. They debuted on that show, and then they had a meet and greet. And I was like, oh man, these are two huge stars, and fans just really gravitate toward them. So I would hope that they're being brought in with intention, and that they'll be a very highly featured act in the tag team scene. So I'm really invested, and I wonder who is going to be the team to dethrone Babes of Wrath, because I think when you and I are here on the podcast, no later than AEW Dynasty, I predict Babes of Wrath are going to drop those titles. I would think for sure it would be to Bane and Ford.
Mm-hmm.
But now I don't necessarily think it's going to go to the Iconics right away, but you always have the Sisters of Sin hanging out, especially now that Tekla has gold. So I'm really interested to see what AEW does with this, because we've seen the prospect of women's tag team champions in wrestling previously in other companies.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of euphoria, I'll bring up that word again, a lot of euphoria around it amongst the fan base, and then it just kind of goes down like a sinking ship. So I wonder if AEW has learned from some of those situations in the past and won't let the tag team division feel like an afterthought this year, because you certainly have brought in a lot of talent and have positioned yourself to be in a place where you have a number of viable contenders. So I really want to see that. And what they're doing with MJF right now as world champ, and the fact that there are so many people gunning for his spot and for his title, that's brilliant. That's when I really love the main title scene in WWE and AEW, even what TNA is doing right now. I'll talk about No Surrender in my What Did We Miss? I really love wrestling when multiple people are coming for the top champion. That's what they should be.
Yeah.
If memory serves, Brad, I've been watching this thing like you for decades. The reason you want to win matches, it's either to earn money and or to earn titles.
Right.
And AEW is giving that right now.
Yeah, they're like I said, they're on fire right now. And I think this might be the best that MJF has been booked for his promos, he's wrestling more as champion.
Definitely.
It's been great. This run is already better than his previous run, in my opinion, just away from a booking standpoint.
100%. Unfortunately, and we love both of these guys, the Adam Cole storyline, who is the devil, that just, in retrospect, that was one of the worst AEW storylines to date. And granted, there was some bad luck involved in injuries, but it just seemed like, to your point, because MJF was world champ, it just seemed like that sort of operated on its own island.
Yeah.
And it just got really cloudy and really murky and not enjoyable for fans. Whereas now, to your point, the booking has been consistent, and it's just been great thus far.
Yep.
It's been excellent.
It's the only word for it, right? Like it's been awesome. And that drop every time.
Yeah.
Ugh,
The right person has
great
the
production.
title right now. Yeah, absolutely. The right person is champion.
Okay, Tyler. The Rascals, Andrade, Ciampa, Jake Doyle, the Iconics, Zeta Steel, Lena Cross, the 3 co-signed CMLL talent, Tatovic, all signed to AEW this year. CNN reported that AEW was partially owned by Warner Brothers Discovery. I saw SRS retweet that. So, Tyler, who or what will have a bigger impact on the company this year? One of the talents I just mentioned, or the minority ownership?
Fascinating. I'm going to go with the talent on this one. There are so many names you mentioned there. The Rascals, Tommaso Ciampa, Zeta Steel looks great thus far with AEW. Ciampa has had a great start, even though he lost his TNT title to Kyle Fletcher, which even I didn't expect as the biggest Kyle Fletcher fan.
Belt upgrade, though. That pink belt's great.
Yes, and the match was arguably the best match I've seen in wrestling so far this year. It was
so good.
It was awesome. I'm fascinated by the latter option you mentioned of ownership. You're always so good about looking into the business side of things, Brad. I saw that pop up on the timeline as well. I just have a lot of questions about how that could look and how that could impact the direction of AEW. But talent-wise, I'll go with Andrade at the moment, even though I was hoping there was a shot that he would beat Hangman and we would go Swerve City, but saying Swerve Strickland, but just a total zag and have Andrade beat Hangman, because we've seen Hangman MJF square off plenty of times at this point. It's always good to fantastic. Andrade, now that he's finally here, there are no business logistical issues. He's fully all elite. I think this is really his time to make a statement this year. And again, if we talk about going to our AJ Lee conversation earlier in the pod, if you're Andrade El Idolo, you have to have so much motivation right now. Some professional challenges over the last couple of years, personal challenges that he's been very transparent about. His new presentation is really working for me. I pop for the selfie with the beautiful women in the crowd, and then we find out they're local indie
Yeah.
talent, and it's a work, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's okay. It's not going to stop my enjoyment of it.
Nope.
The selfie, the putting your number in,
Yeah.
these ladies' phones per their request.
Andrade doing it, then Hangman doing it. It was
I remember watching. I'll be quick about this part. I remember watching then Andrade Almas, CN Almas in NXT Black and Gold days. He was with Zelina Vega, and he was the world champ. And his feuds with Johnny Gargano and the like, I think even mix it up with Aleister Black. Those are some of my favorite matches of yesteryear in WWE. He is obviously still a phenomenal worker. His song is a bop, and it just seems like he is being presented as a big deal, as a main event level guy. And I believe truly the best is yet to come for him in 2026. So I'm going to go with Andrade, and I think his fan base is going to continue to grow if he's positioned properly.
I agree completely with you. My introduction to Andrade was when he was in with that group in who is he with? He was with Zelina, and then I can't remember who else he was with.
I may have even put that out of my mind.
He was like
this is like NXT
tag partner. No, this was on the main roster.
Oh wow!
Because my introduction to him was with him and the other guy, and they were just like pretty Latin wrestlers. And Zelina was there too as their manager, which is crazy. And it was at the PC, and that's like that's all I had for who that guy was before he got released and all that. Was it Legato? I can't remember what it was. I don't remember who it was. Anyway, I feel like he was in a group, and maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it's somebody else, but like, I just remember going like, oh, Andrade's here. This is really cool. When he came to AEW.
He's a single star for sure. I mean,
yeah,
that's part of my thought with the Babes of Wrath. Love them as a team. I bought the t-shirt, but those are two single stars. Harley Cameron, single star. Willow Nightingale, single star.
But Babes of Wrath versus the Iconics, the comedy
is
going to ensue.
Please.
Just oh my God. Just from Harley Cameron alone
it's great.
It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. I can't wait. I think it's Andrade. I will say that I wonder how, knowing now that Warner Brothers Discovery has a partial ownership claim to AEW, I don't know how that would impact rights TV deals and stuff, because Netflix, if the merger happens, would then be the owner transfer, unless they have signed paperwork that would allow Tony Khan to buy back his share, and probably at an up cost if Netflix gets the merger, because I'm sure that's going to be a conversation with WWE after signing a 5-year, multi-billion-dollar agreement to have WWE just Raw on Netflix for 5 years. If AEW is then owned by the thing that houses Raw, I don't know I don't know what that will do to the other deal, and I don't know how that would affect their ownership stakes, their TV rights deals. I don't know how any of that would work. I'm not nearly versed enough to know that stuff. That'd be somebody for an expert to come in. And I imagine the only way things would change is if the agreement is to be on Turner Networks, would be to dissolve the Turner Networks, which I don't think Netflix would do. So I've absolutely no idea how that would work. The only thing I can imagine is that there'd be more exposure by being able to stream on Netflix through like their channel, their live TV gimmick. If they have like a TNT, TBS, Discovery, that kind of stuff. I don't know what that would look like on a Netflix platform. Again, if that merger happens, which I still don't think they're going to do it, but in this particular administration, all bets are off. So monopolies, who cares, I guess. So Andrade would probably have the biggest impact unless like TV rights get messed with. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see how it all plays out. And speaking of, my goodness, I was going to say scene of the speaking that you did. Good Lord. Tyler, Smashing Machine, you saw it. Let's get into it. Just play the production team. Just play the music.
And now it's time for GI at the Movies.
The original Listen, the original plan for this film was to see it when it came out in theaters. I think this is going all the way back to late summer, early fall, Brad. It's
Might have been even
theatrical
before
release.
that. I'm not even sure.
Yeah, you ever have situations, maybe this is a rhetorical question, where you have a plan, you're going to do something, you're going to see a movie, and then it just doesn't happen because you know eventually it will hit streaming, and that is certainly the case for 2025's The Smashing Machine. It is now available on HBO Max, and I finally had a chance to watch it. Brad, you may recall this is an American biographical sports drama film written and directed by Benny Safdie, one half of the Safdie brothers, most notably of Hidden Gems football. Shout out Mike Steph and the Mojo King on 19 Media. I knew I was going to do this.
I didn't know he was on that show.
I knew I was going to do this, yeah. Benny Safdie of Uncut Gems fame, that 2019 Netflix movie with Adam Sandler, which received
Good stuff.
critical acclaim. Yeah, very, very good.
One and done for me. I can't do it again.
Yeah,
Very
it's a lot.
comfortable movie.
It's an experience for sure. And frankly, The Smashing Machine was an experience as well. You may have heard it stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as former amateur wrestler and MMA pioneer Mark Kerr, alongside Emily Blunt as Kerr's girlfriend, with Ryan Bader and a bunch of folks famous in the MMA community who have starring roles. Brad, this is an A24 production, so in terms of what you would expect from the vibes and the cinematography, it is all there. I enjoyed this film. This is a rare case. I want to make sure you're seated for this one, my partner. This is a rare case of a film that clocked in at just around 120 minutes, a full 2 hours of cinema.
Good for you.
I left this movie. I knew you'd be proud of me. I left this movie wanting there to be an additional 10 to 15 minutes. It's a rare instance. I've been very clear. Movies should not be more than 2 hours in 2026 attention spans. However, this movie ended a little bit abruptly. I won't give away too many spoilers here, but by the end of the film, there is a cameo of Mark Kerr, the real guy himself who is still living. I went into this movie not realizing, Brad, there is a huge Phoenix, Arizona connection. Apparently, Kerr lived in Phoenix at the beginning of his career, and it would seem perhaps still lives in the Valley based on how this film ended. So that already gave it some extra points for me. Dwayne Johnson's performance is fantastic in this film. Obviously, he received the Oscar nomination, although he didn't win the award. This is one of the best theatrical performances of his career. Emily Blunt is also very good as Dawn, Mark Kerr's girlfriend. And this film overall was really well executed. It takes place in various locations. It really gives you a background into the world of MMA, specifically those early years in the late 90s and early 2000s before it was mainstream with the beginning of the UFC and such. Really solid film, worth a watch. And again, if we look at Dwayne Johnson's filmography, this is easily a top 5, if not top 3 performance. It was a chance that he took, and I thought he did incredibly well with The Smashing Machine.
Ken Shamrock time, right? Like, yeah, wild time. So I'll have to check it out because I've been wanting to see his performance in particular.
And the makeup and how they transformed him into Mark Kerr, it's really, it's jarring.
I wonder if they took the same makeup artists to do the body stuff for Maui for the live action Moana, because he's also in a big bodysuit. I'm semi being flippant there, but not really. Like they got to make him look like a cartoon. So, and he already he's like halfway there to begin with. But Tyler, no transition Jones. Once again, what do we miss?
Yeah, I have 2 items for us here. First, viewer shout out. Raquel Diaz, shout out to Raquel, proud Miranda Tiger. She wrote in with her thoughts on J. Cole's new album. I know we spoke about this last week, The Fall Off. She is also really enjoying the project. She says she's vibing to it. Her top tracks are Life Sentence, I Love Her Again, Lonely at the Top, and The Villist. Shout out to you, Raquel. Thank you. She can be found at Raquel Diaz _23. We appreciate you and all your support so much. And then on the wrestling side of things, Brad, I try to be a man of my word. I teased you with TNA No Surrender thoughts. Brad Winchester, I am here to tell you a very important update, my friend. I caved, and I am subscribing to TNA Plus once again. So those comments I had weeks ago about not having TNA in my life anymore, I meant it at the time, but I missed TNA. The hilarity of it, the absurdity of watching some of these shows, and frankly, the talent who are on this roster who I really enjoy, the Mustafa Ali's, the Nick Nemeth's. I know last week I mentioned Jada Stone, a new signing. The Hardys are obviously still there, Mike Santana and the like. There's a lot of talent who I still want to see perform. So anyway, I'm locked in once again. My quick takeaways from TNA's most recent live special, No Surrender. Danny Luna and Leon Slater are back. Overall, it was a fun show, a definite win for TNA as it rebounds from what I consider to be a disastrous January. But we're in a new month, new TNA. Again, I caved and re-upped my TNA Plus subscription. Mara Sade, the artist formerly known as Jakara Jackson from NXT fame, looks poised for a breakout year. And Mike Santana, the world champ, is still awesome. It was a fun show. Brad, what did we miss?
Alan Angels, did he come to that show, or was it?
He sure did.
Okay, thought so.
He sure did.
Yeah, I saw him popping
He
up.
popped
So
up. Yeah, this is from Nashville. Yeah.
Really talented.
It was a win. Very talented dude. Shout out to the Dark Order.
The probably great fights there, but the best fight of this week, it was Detroit. So Jalen Duran will be the best big in the East in a couple of years. I'm marking it right now. He's going to be the best one in the East. Give him some time to cook, but he's already looking great and he's super young. Kate is right. Bring back East versus West for the All-Star game. No more mix and match crap. Like, I want East versus West, old school Jones. Give me that. We do this thing where it's like, the East is stronger. The West is way better, way more talented, way better teams. All right, prove it. Put them together. Let's see what happens. Make them play, though. Make them have to play. I want to see them like hustling and following each other, and maybe get extra Pistons in there. Maybe put Beef Stew on the bench just to come off to fight someone every once in a while.
Can we talk about Isaiah Stewart? He's one of your favorite players in the NBA, is he not?
Oh, 100%.
If we talk about, shout out
100%.
to Stephen Cameron, huge Orlando Magic fan and podcaster. You remember our episode with him years ago? This is going on about
like 3 or 4 years now. It's crazy.
Of Hoopers, NBA, and WNBA players who could translate into pro wrestling. If Isaiah Stewart is not auditioning to make our list, I don't know what else he's doing. He's one of your favorites, is he not? Somebody you love if they're on your team, somebody who maybe you have thoughts on if they're not on your squad, because you know he's going to get chippy. He's about that action.
100%. He's like the embodiment of Detroit, right? Like, when you think of Detroit basketball, that's kind of what you think of. But at the same time, what you don't see is all the community outreach that he does. He helps fund schools. He does like food programs in the city. He's like incredibly involved and positive in the community. And people only see that, like, hey, one of his best friends, somebody he considers a brother, gets shoved around after he mushes somebody in the face, and then people are throwing punches. Of course he's coming off the bench. Like, of course it's going to happen. That's just the way he's wired, I guess. Do I condone that behavior? No. People shouldn't be doing that. Do I respect it? Mm-hmm. The other thing we missed, Tyler, this week, it was announced that Fallyn Gray has a tryout with WWE. We're thinking of her and wishing her the best of luck. I hope it goes well, and just thinking of her and how awesome she is. So right now, that's all I have on here. I'm sure there's more, but busy week.
Yeah. Well said, my brother. Way to close out another great edition of the podcast. If you have not already, we would love for you to follow our journey off air. You can follow us at GIPod19 across the social spaces for exclusive show updates and more. We thank you all so much for tuning in. We hope you had as much fun as we did, and we'll see you next time. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.